Thank you all for joining us today. Karibu, that is welcome in Kiswahili. My name is Nduku. I am one of the co-hosts with Kumbukeni. This is our launch show. We are excited to be here. We are excited to be here to talk about Africa. Yes, I see Brother Alimadi getting excited there. Yes, Kumbukeni is a podcast, an African-run source of information whose mission is to tell the African story from an African perspective, helping us all to decolonize our minds. We will speak on and analyze contemporary Africa and African events using the lens of historical Africa. We ask that you all join us as we join other African information providers to clear the path to our liberation and the liberation of Africa and all Africans globally. Today, we have a guest with us. We will sit in conversation with Tunacheki's Michael Omare, otherwise known as Mikey Mushi, one such African information provider to speak on different events currently occurring in Africa. Welcome, Michael Omare. You can support Kumbukeni by joining us as a Patreon at patreon.com/Kumbukeni or subscribing to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@Kumbukeni1. Just in case you do not know the spelling of Kumbukeni, it is running on our banner, so you can see that there. Welcome again. I'm going to hand it over to my co-hosts to introduce themselves and our guest, Michael Omare. Thank you.
My name is Adesoji Ginla, and I'm one of the co-hosts of Kumbukeni. And again, this is a mission to help decolonize minds that have been indoctrinated over centuries of colonial education, which we must admit has not really served Africa any goodwill. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to my co-host, Milton Alimadi.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you, Brother Desoji, Sister Nduku, and our guest, Omare. My name is Milton Alimadi. I'm so excited to be a part of Kumbukeni. I tell my friends all the time, we cannot find African solutions to our challenges unless we, first of all, think African. And how do I mean by that? A lot of what we are taught is very Eurocentric. It's a Eurocentric vision of the world, a Eurocentric knowledge of the world. And that is why we are intentionally grounding our conversations on our history. Many of us, unfortunately, don't know our history, and we don't blame anybody for that because we did not set up our educational systems in our African countries. We inherited them from the colonial era. And sadly, in many African countries, they did not change. So we are producing European Africans, unfortunately. And then we are confused when we can never find solutions to some of our problems. You know, think about it. Most African countries have been independent for 60 years now. How is it that the other continents are going ahead of us when everybody benefits from Africa's resources to develop? We are the ones who don't benefit from our own resources. And we believe that in order for us to start developing, we first of all have to believe in ourselves. And we cannot believe in ourselves unless we are grounded in our history. The knowledge that has been shared by great Africans like Cheikh Anta Diop, one of the greatest scientists in the world. Why is it that everybody knows an Einstein, but we don't know Anta Diop, the author of The African Origins of Civilization? And if you're hearing this for the first time, that's a strong hint. You should order that book. Why don't we know about the solutions offered by Walter Rodney, by Samir Amin, by the late Julius Nyerere, by Thomas Sankara, by Patrice Lumumba? So we want to encourage our people to know that we have always had the solutions, but we're always looking elsewhere. Let's go back to our solutions, the knowledge of Africa. And that's where Kumbukeni comes into play. So I'm very excited for the conversations, the many, many conversations we are starting today. Welcome, all of you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Brother Alimadi. Brother Omare, could you go ahead and introduce yourself? Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be like the first guest
Yes.
in this groundbreaking show. And And most of you on the Tunacheki side know me, but for the new members, Michael Omare, known as Makimushi, and I'm the founder of Tunacheki, one of Africa's largest YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers, over more than 250 million views. And our job is to share African perspective, African information, African news from an African, right? So that's our simple, focused goal, and we've achieved it. And we always love when other organizations are doing the same thing and collaborating, right? Because if we do it together, we have a bigger voice and we achieve our goal faster than if Kumbukeni does it alone, Tunachiki does it alone, another group does it alone. If we all come together, shout with one voice, I think we will be louder and we will all achieve our goal of having a one African voice or a united African voice. Thank you, and I'm sure we'll get to talk about this in details as the conversation progresses.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Michael Omare. Thank you, everyone. I'm looking at the chat. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Jeanette. Welcome, Karibuni. That is welcome in Kiswahili. And we are going to start our conversation for today. Omare, Kumbukeni's mission is to decolonize our African minds by providing information. So how can we talk about African independence when Africans have Eurocentric mindsets and views? When you're, I know you're currently located in Kenya. What are you noticing? Is this true? Do we have Africans Eurocentric mindsets and views?
Yeah, but even let me get back, because you said when we gain independence, there are three types of independence, right? The only thing we got was political independence, right?